Hello and welcome to the DownShift as we share our thoughts on Drive to Survive, and we excitedly prepare for the opening race at the Albert Park Raceway for the Australian Grand Prix, with our weather predictions being back and possibly what is going to be. Yes. Sorry, I should have paused for applause.
How long's it been since we've had a good weather prediction on this channel? Wow. Let's go.
Wow.
Get back into it.
I say
They're
12
back,
months.
baby. They're back.
And possibly what is going to be the toughest predictions for the season, as it's
Lights out.
Stop the clutch.
Go outie.
Hello and welcome to the Downshift. Now we've all of us watched Drive to Survive this weekend as season 8 has.
Let's do an episode count. How many episodes has everyone seen of Series 8 so far?
3.
What's that?
8.
0.
8.
0. I've seen
Christian
all
told
8
me
as
it wasn't
well.
that good, so I didn't start watching it.
I had to laugh because my wife and I started to watch it on Friday. I was coming home from work. I got phone calls, text messages of my son saying, this is the countdown to Drive to Survive. So we've had dinner. We've sat down on the couch, started to press play, and I realised only after watching all 8 episodes, we watched the last episode first before we got into the rest of the episode. So we saw the result of the 2025 season.
So you knew who won last year?
I did, right at the start.
Oh,
What a spoiler.
Spoiler. Oh,
You know they have the episode numbers on the top of them, right? So 1, 2, 3, all the way up to 8.
No, they didn't.
No, they
Oh, they
didn't
didn't?
actually on
Oh,
Netflix. Yeah.
Yeah.
maybe it's
So-
like that.
okay.
What was that other TV series where you could watch it in any order, but the story all kind of made sense? Some series they brought out once. Was it like that?
That was Drive to
I don't
Survive
want to talk
Series 1 to 7.
Yes, definitely not 8.
No, it doesn't matter what order you watch them in because it's not very chronological, apart from the first episode, which is about the rookies. We're not spoiling much there, but you pretty much could watch any episode in any order. It didn't really matter.
Yeah, look, I mean, as I've watched it, to your point, Lachy, is I really found it uninspiring this year. Now, I was debating as to whether or not that's because we are so close to it, talking about it every week, going through what's going on. But I thought Netflix really missed the opportunity to dig into some of the really meaty topics from the 2025 season.
When I watched season 1 to 7, like I hadn't watched much Formula One at all. So this is a bit of a precursor to us going over to be in Singapore and go, I should probably at least know the names of the drivers and know what colour the cars are and figure out a bit about the whole sport. So coming into it knowing nothing, I think watching all the first 7 seasons was kind of interesting, and you learned some characters and you watched I think you watched a big character arc, not that, you could just see the drivers develop and going through their process and everything else. And I think you're right. Maybe now that we know a lot more about what actually happened last season, because we were talking about it every second week at least, or every week, you kind of know what all the stories were. And I don't know, it didn't feel like there was anything new that was coming out of it. And it probably maybe the story wasn't told quite how we perceived it was happening.
Well, apparently the McLaren one was not delivered. The storyline for the McLaren was delivered pretty poorly with the tensions between the drivers. There was quite a few comments online today saying that the way they cut that episode was not how it actually happened in real life. So
No, they glossed over it. Like Dan was saying, I didn't really get into the papaya rule stuff. There was no real indication from watching it that Oscar had a great first half of the season and then Lando had to catch up and win the championship from him. There was really not a lot of that. They didn't talk about papaya rules at all. And along the same lines, they didn't cover Lewis Hamilton really struggling compared to Charles Leclerc very much either. Like they just didn't delve into it. It just felt quite shallow. And I think looking back in previous seasons, they had a good balance between the promotional aspect of the show to new viewers to get a new audience versus how behind the scenes and deep do they go into some of these situations and characters and stories for real fans of Formula One. Because, for maybe viewers of our show or podcast and for us, we liked that behind the scenes stuff, the fly on the wall camera, the, oh my God, I can't believe they said that. And oh, wow, that was really what it was like behind the scenes. Whereas I didn't get that feeling in this series. It just seemed, it was shorter. It was only 8 episodes rather than 10, or most of the previous series were 10 episodes. So they covered more story, but I don't know, this seemed a bit more promotional rather than informational, if you know what I mean.
I feel like there was more than 8 episodes worth of stuff to go.
Oh, sure.
Cover off.
100% there would be, yeah.
I think there were some really good stories through 2026. Happy, you talked about Lewis's struggle with his performance in the car and even his integration into Ferrari. I mean, we saw that at the tail end of Drive to Survive season 7, where they were going through the hype with Lewis Hamilton leaving Mercedes and going to Maranello. But as we then came into 2025, we did not see what Lewis was actually struggling with. We did not see, we're talking about the interplay in regards to how he's going to work with a new engineer. We're talking about how the team operates, and for Netflix having unfettered access, presumably, they could have built some really great storylines around some of these really, what viewers really wanted to see. We were all making predictions and trying to get an understanding as to what was happening behind the scenes. This was the opportunity to show that story after the season had completed, so that you could actually
so the truth comes out or whatever.
Yeah. We saw that. We saw that at the start with Daniel Ricciardo as we were going through with Alpine and McLaren and Red Bull. What was going on there? You felt as though you were right in the inner sanctum at the tail end of that season, and I think they missed that opportunity this year.
I think the other thing that stood out for me is how bland most of the personalities are in Formula One without Daniel Ricciardo, Gunther Steiner, a bit of, backwards and forwards
Christian
between
Horner.
Toto and Christian Horner. Yeah, there just wasn't, I mean, all we had was Flavio. And Flavio, Flavio's Flavio. So he's very direct and blunt, and that was I guess the shock factor sort of personality for this season. But he got half an episode, and that was about it. And I don't think people warm to a character like a Flavio Briatore like they do to Gunther Steiner or a Daniel Ricciardo. So I think the show really missed 1 or 2 people like that.
Well, hopefully Valtteri will be able to instill some of that and push some of that forward, because he's got a bit of a personality. So hopefully they can pick up on that and he can become a bit of a character out of that.
Does he need more character and people who don't know that Netflix is filming them? Because in just about every scene, they were aware that cameras were on them. And in quite a few scenes, I'm not really spoiling anything if you haven't watched it yet, you can hear, one of their teammates go, "Oh, Netflix is behind you." So they're very aware of that. And I think that people are being more guarded. And if you went back and watched the first series or 2 of Drive to Survive, it'd be a completely different viewing experience,
But wait, I've only seen 3 episodes. What happens to Christian?
Wait for episode 5. It's a banger.
They write him out. Oh, no.
Just jump to it and watch 5 and then go back to 4. Apparently it doesn't matter if you're out of order. It's fine.
Oh.
Don't worry. I think Netflix are actually one of the silent investors in Christian's campaign to get back into Formula One so they can actually have a protagonist.
I'm sure they'd love him back on camera, yeah.
Yeah, so the 12th team will be the Netflix F1 team, which will have Christian Horner, Gunther Steiner, Daniel Ricciardo, all as part of the one team. So,
yeah,
that'll be watchable.
Yeah, look, it's still worth a watch.
Anyway, as a Ford ambassador, isn't he?
He won't be around. Not for Formula One, though.
Not Formula
He's doing other stuff.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought, right. Okay, cool.
All right. So for those who haven't watched Drive to Survive, we encourage you to go and watch it, even just for some of the very basic explanations from Will Buxton.
Still watch it. It's a solid 7 out of 10. Even if Will Buxton's script, I'm sure he didn't come up with it himself, but yeah, it wasn't that great. But I gave it a 7 out of 10 anyway.
Oh, I gave it a solid 4.
Oh, wow. Oh.
Mm-hmm.
Dan, we'll have to wait for your review next week to find out what your thoughts are.
I actually didn't. I didn't know that was part of the homework to
No.
It wasn't.
Netflix.
It wasn't.
Sorry about that.
We just assumed you'd be able to come up with an out of 10 rating off the top of your head, but if you can't, we can prepare for it next week.
6.75.
Thank you very much.
I was waiting for you to bring the hat out and go.
It wasn't quite actually. No, I didn't have a number in the hat.
So there you go. So the title for this podcast is 746.75.
No, we're not doing that.
We're not cool enough. Actually, no, it's gone now anyway. So, alrighty. So moving from Drive to Survive, guys, we're really excited that we have got Formula One coming back to Melbourne at the Albert Park Grand Prix circuit.
Yeah.
Most
the
definitely.
hype has been all around. As I've been coming back into Melbourne Airport, it's plastered with Formula One drivers. Happy you've been down by the river, seeing all the merchandise stands. People have been able to drive around the track for the last couple of weeks. And in fact, this Thursday, for those punters who are really keen, you can pay $99 to run the Grand Prix racetrack before the action starts. So
At 6:30 in the morning.
Yeah. So are we going to see each other there, guys?
I pulled my hamstring. Can't do it. Otherwise, it would have
Is
been
that this Thursday?
Yes.
Sorry, I can't do this Thursday.
No, I don't think so.
As I've said, nothing good comes from exercise, so no, I won't be there. But yeah, so for those who are running the track, it is 5.278 kilometres long, 16 turns, and we'll see the battle over 58 laps for a total race distance of 306.124 kilometres. This, Happy, as you're saying, this is a street circuit, blending some public roads and some parkland and also car parks, taking the drivers around the beautiful Albert Park Lake in Melbourne, just outside of the CBD. So we've seen here the lap record is held by Charles Leclerc from 2024 with a 1 minute 19.813. And so look, with the new regulations, Vita cars, the 50/50 ICE and electric power PU with sustainable fuels, anything could happen in this race.
Well, they are talking it's supposed to be a bit spicier race and all that, but the drivers are saying it's going to be fairly difficult to overtake. So it'll be interesting to see whether they can turn this into better racing. I mean, I personally think the cars look better on the track. I reckon they look more aggressive now just because of the dimensions have shrunk a bit. But whether they can actually turn that into more overtakes, aggressive driving, whatever it's going to be, is yet to be seen.
Looking forward to the rubber finally hitting the road. So all of this testing and stuff is going to actually be, you know what, now we actually have to we have to show our hand, put down some solid laps and
who's been sandbagging
times and see what's going on.
And Albert Park will be a good test because it's not a track known for a lot of overtakes. So if the FIA think that this new regulation set is going to allow more overtaking, then this is the place we should see it.
So we're hoping that all the teams do make it with the current Middle East conflict. We do have flights being changed and drivers getting into Melbourne. But as we come into Melbourne, now, Lachy, I'm really happy to say your budget approval came through.
Look at that.
Mate.
And you've got yourself your own logo for the DownShift weather presented by Lachy.
I mean, I don't think that came in my entire $500,000 budget on the logo, right? Well, the rest of it's coming, or
marketing costs have gone up.
Oh, damn it. Okay. All right. Fair enough then. Well, look, as opposed to last year where we had, absolute 4 seasons out of this one, it should be a little bit more consistent this year. So it should be round Thursday, around the 27 mark. There will be clouds in the morning, but they should clear off for the afternoon. Friday will be probably more around the 20 degrees for it. Little bursts of cloud, but mainly sunshine for it. Saturday will be absolutely beautiful. 24 degrees, minimal cloud cover on that one. But for which everyone cares about, race day Sunday. It is going to be 28 degrees on Sunday, so the track temp will be slightly warmer. It will be clear skies and sunshine for the race. So no excuses from the teams, no wet weather, no nothing. Let's get them up. Let's get them racing.
We're forecasting basically no rain for the next 5 or 6 days, so it should be a dry race for sure.
So it's gonna bucket down.
No. We're currently in Melbourne now. It's rained consistently for the last 2 days.
We've used up all our rain.
Yeah, as of tonight at about midnight, that stops, and then off we go.
No, but I wouldn't be surprised if South Australia sends us some rain, just as a bit of a FU.
No. I put a request into the man upstairs. We're all good for this weekend.
Yeah, so I had to laugh as we saw that Adelaide has now taken the MotoGP from Phillip Island. There was clickbait on social media saying that they've now taken back the Grand Prix, but no, Melbourne is definitely locked in for the long term for the Formula One.
Bring it on.
All right, so as we're saying, this is probably one of the toughest predictions for us coming into the new year with the new regulations, with not seeing any of these cars actually racing as we start to go into our predictions. So we've had a bit of a meeting in regards to what we're going to do around our predictions. So as we discussed for our listeners and viewers, we are going to throw a few more points this year in regards to our predictions. So we will still do pole first, second, and third.
So I can end up even further behind.
We're trying to give you every opportunity, Schwags, to rack up some points.
No, you called it, Dan. You're right.
So we're going to give 1 point for pole, 4 points for first, 3 points for second, 2 points for third. And if we do get a driver in the top three but haven't got the order right, we will get a 1 point for them. We are also going to give 2 points for who we predict is going to finish last, and that is not DNF. It's the last car to actually finish the race. And for Melbourne, given the chaos that we're expecting to see, we've got 2 points up for grabs for who can predict the right number of DNFs for this weekend's Grand Prix. So
Wow.
So that's given everyone plenty of homework to do. Schwags, I don't know if that hat's big enough.
Lots of random points up for grabs this week, that's for sure.
Yeah, going to need a bigger hat.
So there was promise of a rotating dartboard on fire.
His home insurance wouldn't cover it.
Are you talking to me? Was that me?
Yeah,
was I doing the fire thing? Was I?
Yeah.
No, I think that was just my attitude.
All right. Well, who would like to kick us off with pole first, second, third, and last? And we'll do DNFs afterwards.
I'm happy to kick off because I tell you what, a race like this, the first race of new regs, no idea what's going on. Nothing says I got this like a lucky dip. Now, to be fair,
why don't you pick Lewis for pole? Like, why don't you just pick Lewis and go out start, go hard?
Well, I backed him for the win the world title, so I probably got to. What I have done is I have, thanks to Lachlan's suggestion, I have actually taken half the field out already because I figure there's a handful that it doesn't matter what they do, they're not going to be there. Do you want me to go through that list or just don't worry about it?
Well, to be fair, at the end of last season, you only had about 7 names left in the hat.
I did because it was just ridiculous. Yeah. It's it just people weren't going to win. So who have I taken out? Nico, Valtteri, Franco, Lance, Gabriel, Ollie, Liam, Arvid, Fernando, Sergio, and Esteban. So they're all out.
Okay.
Wow. Okay.
So who are you picking for pole?
List, but that's half.
Let's go.
Who am I picking for hole? Oh, gee, I nearly mixed up with the other ones. That was a mistake. Put them away.
Fernando.
This is a well-oiled machine, this one.
This is
going well.
All right, so Lando Norris for pole.
That's not a bad one.
Yep.
First place.
First place.
Did you put Lando back in?
I did. I'm not a rookie at this. I've done this before.
I'm just checking.
He's a novice now. George is for the win.
Handsome George.
Handsome George. Oscar for second. It's actually not working out too badly, actually.
Wait for it.
Maybe I should. And Charles for third.
That's all right.
That's not a bad combo.
You need a DNF, do you?
We need a
last place.
Last position. Who's
the ones you took out of your hat?
Yep. I'm going to take out of the hat. I'm
the last card across the finishing line?
Because, I mean, this is just
I'll put the downshift music on while we're waiting.
This is just totally random too. Oh, no, this won't take long. I have got Ollie Behrman will be last.
Ollie Behrman,
okay.
Excellent.
Hat. I'll go next.
You got a new hat?
Nathan's probably still looking at Grok for his answers.
Are we predicting how many DNFs they're going to be?
We'll do that
I say 5.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
Then we don't. They go 5. Oh, no. We're doing it as part of this.
We're doing it now. Okay.
Sorry.
Okay.
Anyway,
all good.
Right, am I going next?
As you can tell, listeners, we're really organised in regards to how we've got this all ordered.
We've got a detailed run sheet for this episode. Yeah.
Finally tuned the machine, we are.
All right, go,
you ready, Christian?
All right, Lachy, over to you, buddy.
Pole position, George Russell. First position, George Russell. Oof. Second position, Charles Leclerc. Third position, Max Verstappen. Last car actually running, Alex Albon. And there will be 5 DNFs.
Oh, there you go. All right, Happy, are you going to be able to do it as quickly as Lachy?
Russell for pole, Russell for the win, Kimi for second, Leclerc third. The last car across the line will be Franco Colapinto. And I think there will be 4 DNFs.
I reckon Franco coming last across the line, he'll be chased by Flavio with a stick.
No, because his car will still be running, so that's more important than having it banged up on the side of the road.
The car might be coming across the line smoking and damaged, and Flavio will be saying, "It's you. You're the driver. It's your fault.
That's you. Yep.
You need to be better."
Yeah. All right, KT, lay it on us.
All right. So for pole, I've got Charles Leclerc. I'm predicting that it's going to be a little bit of a melee. So I've actually got Oscar for first. Again, I would love to see Oscar take out the home Grand Prix. So
based on McLaren drivers' own comments during the past few weeks, that's a big
not going to happen.
They're sandbagging. You watch. Absolutely sandbagging.
Same with Aston Martin. You should watch when they come out in Melbourne. They're going to fly.
I've got Russell for second, Charles for third. I'm going to put Perez for last across the line.
Yep.
And I'm going to go for 6 DNFs.
Ooh,
I reckon it's going to be carnage.
It's like a quarter of the field.
I think even at the start of the race, we're going to see issues in regards to how the car is going to take off from the line. We've them struggling with having to rev the cars to full tilt, struggling to get off the line. I reckon we're actually going to see some collisions
except
at
Ferrari.
the very start of the race.
Yep. Ferrari can fly that thing off the line. So
you could be right. It could be quarter of the field gone. We'll see.
I'm actually quite encouraged. You think the Cadillac's going to make it 306 kilometres?
I actually think they well could. I really do. They may not be the fastest, but they could make the race.
And that's why I've got Perez sitting in last place, because I think Cadillac is just going to want to have a consistent finish. They're not going to worry about being right up the front. They just want to show that they are.
So they'll be 7 laps down, but they'll finish.
Could be, yeah.
Not point, as long as they're still running.
Doesn't matter. Christian still gets 2 points for it.
I am predicting there's going to be a lot of cars that are going to get retired.
Not probably.
Not damaged, but they'll just figure out that they just got to pull them out, let them.
They'll 100%.
We'll email Punchy to take out both the Cadillacs. That'll fix Christian right up. It's fine.
Punchy's not going to take any calls from you after last week's episode.
Nah, that's why I'm going to email him. I'm not going to call him.
We have plenty of teams in testing with some reliability issues who are still bug fixing cars, and there'll definitely be retirements, Dan, from blown engines, gearboxes, cooling systems, hydraulics, whatever. Yeah.
Williams even going to
save the car.
They'll show up. Now, whether their car will run more than a couple of laps is the question to remain.
Excellent. So with that, any other thoughts before we wrap up this episode and strap in to sit around the TV to watch the first race of 2026?
Just looking forward to what all this means.
Yeah, I've cleared the calendar for some. Not only that, I'm taking Monday off as well just to recover from all the excitement we're going to have on Sunday.
I've got Monday off as well, and I'll be sitting on the couch with my laptop from Thursday till Sunday. Excited to see what's going to happen. So this will be the best round of the year because it's brand new regulations. No one knows what's going to happen. Looking forward to it.
Yeah, well, put some beers in the fridge, Happy. I'll be at your house early on Sunday.
Yeah, so that's right. Yeah. You're welcome.
Looking forward to it. So with that, be sure to like and subscribe so that you can tune in for all of our reactions and our thoughts around the first race of the season. Until then, we will see you all on the next lap.